Hello everyone, this is Molly from the CMSNet Help Desk. Today I'm going to do a webinar on awaiting service review. I'm only going to be talking about the awaiting service review today, so if you need to learn about the awaiting case review, please view the webinar on awaiting case review part 1. This is part 2 on awaiting service review. Okay? Assuming that you have already looked at the request, if it was for a brand new client, you had already reviewed it and everything, and you took the client, you registered it, and now you're ready to work the awaiting service review. I will be explaining to you the homepage counter and how to view the awaiting service review from the home page, or you can search for the awaiting service review from the authorization module. I will show you how to basically look at the search result, how to select the awaiting service review, and after selecting it, if it is for a new SAR for an established client, how to pen the SAR, and if it's a modification request to a pending SAR or a modification to an authorized SAR, how to review the modification request and how to accept it and basically pen the SAR or authorize the SAR. And I will also be showing you how to delete a pending SAR and how it functions differently based on how it was entered into the system. If it was entered in via manually by a user, it will the functionality for deleting a pending SAR will function different from a eSAR that was penned, and later if the user wants to delete it, how to delete it. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, let's go ahead and go to the CMSNet home page. First off, just as an FYI, we do have a session timeout here. You have 30 minutes each time you do something to refresh your screen. You have 30 minutes to work in CMSNet. If you leave the session for more than 30 minutes, of course it will time out and it'll say session expired here. Okay? So from the home page, let's go ahead. So as you can see here, it refreshes and now I have 30 minutes. So from the home page, we have here quick links that will help you get to the awaiting case review and awaiting service review faster than searching for the request via referral tracking module or the authorization module. Okay? So for this webinar, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to access the awaiting service review from the homepage counter first. So if you click on the All Awaiting Service Review, and by the way, All Awaiting Service Review is all the service review requests, for your entire county. I'm logged in as a San Francisco test user, so when I click on the All Awaiting Service Review here, it will show all the requests for my San Francisco county. So I have 10 requests here, and let's go ahead and learn about the search result list of SARs here. Here we have the case number and caseload column, and you will know if the request is for an established client or a brand new client based on whether there is a case number or not. This is an example of a request that came in for an established and a client that exists in CMSNet because there is a case number here. This is also an example of a client that exists in the CMSNet because it's their case number. This is a brand new client, not yet registered because there is no case number here. Okay? Now to know whether it's a SAR modification request or a new SAR request for an established client, you will know when there is a SAR number here. If there is a short SAR ID number and with a slash and a SAR number, that means this is a modified SAR modification request for this authorization that already exists in CMSNet. This is also an example of another modification request. So out of 10 records here, we have 3 modification requests for an established client. We also have some new SAR requests for established client, and the reason why I know it's a new request for an established client is because first of all, there's a case number and there's no SAR number here, so it's a new SAR request that needs to be reviewed to pen or basically to reject if you're not going to accept it. Okay, so this is a new request for an established client. This is a new request for a brand new client because there's no case number here. Okay, so now that we have that explained, let's go ahead and show you the difference of the different functionalities that you can do from this page. If it's a new SAR request for a client that is not registered, when you click on the SAR number hyperlink, it brings up the SAR view page. You cannot take action or anything like that because it's an incomplete client. And in order for you to pen the SAR, the rule is you have to register the client first. So if you happen to click on the SAR hyperlink and it brings up the view SAR page, then you know it's for a brand new client. And you can also view the case note. Click on case note history here, click on the SAR hyperlink case note, and it brings the information up for you to view that the request is for this provider. And there's also a message from the CMS, from the requester, the eSAR requester. And here also it has the provider, the PCP information and other stuff that they completed on the eSAR fillable form. And if we don't have the fields available in the referral tracking module, then it will populate onto the case note. So in here we had the parent guardian's name, the primary care physician, the primary care physician's phone number, client's phone number, extension, and phone note, and the insurance information if the provider sends it. Okay, so that's how to view the case note, and I recommend always reviewing it. So this is an example of one that is to an incomplete client. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. This one right here is to an established client, and the moment you click on the SAR hyperlink, it will take you to the Enter SAR page. Once here, you can go ahead, review the information, and if you're going to accept it, it will take you into, then it will become a pending SAR. But at this moment, I'm not going to pen it yet. I'm going to go back to the home page because I'm not done showing you everything yet. So I'm going to go back to all awaiting service review, and I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the next one. So the first one was to an unregistered case, brings up the view SAR. This one was in a new eSAR request to an established client, and it takes you to the Enter SAR page. So for a modification request, you click on the SAR hyperlink. It takes you, if it is a request to an authorized SAR, it'll show you authorized SAR up here, and of course it has to start as right here, authorized SAR. And if it's a modification request, in the provider, in the SAR information, the authorization modification information section here, you will see hyperlinks to changes that the provider are basically sending in. Okay, so you have this one, they're requesting for a end date. You see the modification for the provider. The service information section appears in this section as hyperlink, and any information related to the service request, any new codes, shows up highlighted in blue. Okay, let's go ahead and return back to the home page, and let's go ahead and view the request here. I'm hoping we get some for a pending SAR here. Let's go ahead and click on this one. Well, that's to an authorized SAR as well. Let's go back. Okay, I was hoping to show you an example. Here it is. So if it's a modification to a pending SAR, the SAR status will say pending, and of course it's the Enter SAR page. If you scroll down, any changes to the provider information section also shows up as hyperlinks in here, and of course the SAR information are also shown in hyperlinks. Okay, any new codes that the provider is requesting for will show up and highlight in blue. So that is the difference between a modification to a pending SAR and a modification to an authorized SAR. Okay, so I had showed you mostly by clicking on the home page and clicking on the awaiting service, all awaiting service review, to view all the requests for your entire county, and listing all the clients, different clients here that have service requests for. Now, if you know the client and there's several requests here for that client, you can take that case client, take the case number, search for the client, and click on search. This is also another method of searching for the client, and once you search for those authorizations for the client, brings up all the requests that the clients have, along with any awaiting service requests. You know they're awaiting service requests because the status says awaiting service review. Okay, and of course, all awaiting service review can be deleted and rejected. So the remove column will have the X. If you don't see the X, then that means it's not an eSAR anymore, or it was manually entered in and never was an eSAR. Okay, so from here I'm going to go ahead and show you, first off, if you review the request and you decided you are not going to pen the SAR, you can reject the request. So let's go ahead and take this request and pretend that we did review it, or you could click on here the SAR hyperlink and go ahead and review the request, and if you are not going to accept it, you would click on back. It takes you out here, click on search, go back in, and you will go ahead, after reviewing it, you will click on the X icon. Once you click on the X icon, the system will display the rejection reason pop-up box. You are allowed to select multiple reasons, and these are the reasons that are from the Federal 278 transaction, so we cannot change or make any reasons up. They are from the transaction, so therefore you have to pick one of these, and if none of them apply to what the reason why you are rejecting or deleting it, I recommend choosing input error. Okay? But yes, you can choose any reasons that apply and then enter your notes here. This note right here will actually go back to the requester. If they are using PDI to view the request, the results, they will see the comments that you entered into this comment text box right here. They will see it in the when they're reviewing the request, and when they're reviewing the deleted request, they will see your comments. They will see the reason you selected, and they will also see your comments entered here. So you can put in anything you want here back for them to understand more clearly why you are rejecting the request. So you can say rejecting due to dupe or any other reason. Okay? Click on continue, and you'll notice that it disappeared. So that is basically how to reject. So again, we would just click on the X, select your reason or reasons, enter your comment so that the requester know why, click continue, and it disappears. Okay? So let's go ahead, and the next thing I want to show you is to basically review the request and pen the SAR. So go ahead and click on the SAR hyperlink here. It takes you into the enter SAR because it's a new request for the client. So once you review the information, you can edit the address as necessary. No changes in the SAR functionality. It's still the same as it is today. Make any changes needed. And once you are done, you will click on submit. And once you click on the submit button, it becomes a pending authorization, pending SAR. Okay? So the SAR is in pending status. And if you need to go ahead and work on the next request, you click on View All SARs. Now let's go ahead and let's go ahead and pen one more. So let's pen this one. Alright, let's take a look at this one. This is a request for an outpatient, and it has the service codes, and you can also, add codes. You can make changes to the codes. So same functionality like I mentioned, and make any necessary changes here. And once you're done, you go ahead and click submit, and basically you're accepting the request and you pended the SAR. Okay? Now let's go ahead and do some examples of the modification request. So let's take a look at the first one. This is a modification request to an authorized SAR. So here the provider is actually requesting an address change here, so I assume this provider probably moved to a different location. So from Children's Way, they moved to 123 Test. Alright, and look, they also changed the zip code because they are no longer in San Diego. So they moved to, let's see, Sacramento. Okay, so to accept it is basically you click on the hyperlink, click on accept. And if you made a mistake, you need to start over. Go ahead and scroll down to the bottom, click undo. It will refresh the page and bring everything back to how it was when you first entered. So, for example, if you they put in the address here, and for whatever reason, if you're not going to accept it, you just close it down and no changes there. Okay, zip code as well, you review it, and if you're not going to accept it, you just close it down, no changes there. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and accept it. So I'm going to click on it again, and the zip code, accept, and so now it's changed to my new address and my new city and zip. Okay. So for this request, the provider wants to retro, because I see hyperlink here for the service begin date. So I know they are asking for some kind of change to the begin date. So the system will bring the pop-up, and then like here, you can move it around. See? Da 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 da, yay, fun. Alright, so here, just to compare the information here, the service begin date used to be 6/26/17, and looks like they want to retro the begin date to 6/19/17. If you're going to accept the change, then click on the check box. If not, then go ahead and click on X. So in this case, I'm going to say no. I'm going to keep the begin date the same. Let's see, what are they requesting for the end date. So they are requesting for a change for the end date as well. So I'm going to take the box, move it down so they're close to each other. So it used to be 8/4/17, and they want to make it 8/31. So alright, sure, I'm going to go ahead and accept it to show you how it works. So I accept it, and there the new changes is populated there. Now into, ooh, look at this, they also requesting for a diagnostic change. Okay, so they want to add this one. So if you're going to accept it, you can also, it looks like this used to, they only had one before, so they got a new one, so go eahead and accept it if you want to. If not, don't accept it. And then once it's accepted, it populates here. Now, the requesters for a SAR modification, they do not have the ability to edit the existing one, but they can add more service codes. So here it looks like they're adding more J codes to this request because they're highlighted in blue. If you, of course, if you don't want it, you check on the check mark, and then you can go ahead and click. And if you want to, you can do some modification. So all the same rules apply for authorization, except for any new service the provider is requesting for is highlighted in blue. Any changes are hyperlinks in dark red color, I guess. And then of course you scroll down after you make your necessary changes, scroll down to the bottom screen and click authorize. Once you authorize SAR, enter your case notes, click save. And save. And voila, you have your authorized SAR. Okay, so let's go ahead and review another modification for practice, for more practice. So we have one more here. So we have the awaiting service review. I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and this is a request to a pending SAR. So they actually saw this SAR in PDI, and they wanted to request for a modification for it. So let's see what their modification is. So I know it's a pending SAR because it says pending, and it's a modification because there's all these hyperlinks here. Okay, so the first one is, I'm going to go ahead and click on the hyperlinks. This provider move. Yes, go ahead and accept. Alright, zip code, they also move city. So begin date, they want to retro to 6/19, and it is within the program period, and assuming that you reviewed the request and you're saying yes, you would accept it, and it changes. Hyperlinks disappears. They want to extend the end date out to 7/31 from 7/14. If you're not going to accept it, you click on the X. If you're going to accept, click on the check mark. So in this example, I'm just going to go ahead and click on X so that I show you if I click on X, it stays the same. Okay? You need to click accept it, you will click on the check mark, and it changes. The request date, of course, because you don't have to accept that the system will auto change for you, but it will, highlight it just because it originally came in on the 17th, and it's changing to be because today is today. Okay? But you don't have to accept it. It auto changes by itself. So the primary DX, it used to be W54. Let's see what they're asking. They are changing it to W55. Alright, so let's go ahead and accept that. So they are also asking for all these codes. If you're not going to accept it, maybe they're already covered in O1, you can remove all of them and click on submit, or if you're going to keep one of them, go ahead, or you can make your changes here as well. Okay, and if certain codes need you county users to or state users to select the type, there will be a red box here that says select. You will be forced to select the type. Once you select the type, then the system populates the information back in here for you. Okay, and then once you go ahead and you're done, go ahead and click on submit, and that means you are done accepting the modified request. And click on continue, and since it was modified to a pending SAR, now the changes to the pending SARs are added on, and these are the changes that were put in. Okay, so let's go ahead and scroll down to the bottom, click on view all SARs again. So I've already showed you how to take a request, and if you're not going to accept it, how to reject it. I showed you how to take in a new awaiting service request for an established client and pen the SAR. I showed you how to accept the modification request. So the last thing I want to show you is deleting a pending SAR. Okay, so if an authorization is from started off as an eSAR, if you try to delete the authorization, it functions differently. So let's see how this one is. So I click on delete, and it pops up with a rejection pop-up box. So that obviously means that this SAR originally came in as an eSAR, and if you're going to delete it, it needs to inform the provider the reason why you're rejecting it or deleting it. So it will pop up with the rejection reason pop-up box. So you select your reasons, and then you enter your comment here back to so that they can see it. If the reason you're selecting is not clear enough, put in a note so they can understand why you're deleting it. Okay. Click on continue, and the SAR is deleted. Alrighty, so I don't know if this one, let's see, do I have any pending SAR here that I entered that is not, oh, that is from an eSAR. Okay, so let's see, I think I have an example of one that is manually entered in. Let's go find that. Alright, so let's see. Let's go ahead and take this one right here. And yay! So if it's a manually entered SAR, when you click on the delete tab, a message will pop up and says, are you sure you want to delete the SAR? You click on OK, and the system takes you to the case note. And that is the current functionality of basically deleting a manually entered SAR. No changes there. It's exactly how it functions today. Alright, so then it deletes the SAR. So this one, let's see if this one's a manually entered or an eSAR. This one's an eSAR because the rejection pop-up reason came up, okay? So you would select your reason, enter your note, hello, and click continue, and voila, it is deleted. So there you go. So I've showed you how to basically click on the home page, how to review all the awaiting service review, and how to work the request from here or by authorization module, searching for the client and working the request from there. Before I let you go, I also want to show you that let me go ahead and clear out the screen. If you want to also find all the awaiting case review for your entire county, you can do so by also in the awaiting service review sections. You would basically select your county. If you're a regional office, you will get all the counties for the counties that are under you. And then you can click on awaiting service review. You can search by the caseloads that you belong to and do search, or you can leave the caseload alone and it will be for your entire county. Okay, but phew, no PHI, yay. Okay, so alright, so these are all my fake clients. Yes, they are all fake. Okay, So that's all that I have to show you today. Thanks for listening into the webinar. Have a good day.